Yo, 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 let's get the business.
Steps is real. We're doing something different today. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Feeling nice and cool out there.
Nice to see you, man. This ring right here we use for a film, and it's going to start, as you can see, in about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But anyway,
It's
that
awesome.
was the ring that was used for Will Smith's movie.
Just a kid, yeah.
20 years old, but
Yeah, that's a kid still.
He was helping John Y. Brown run for governor.
Yeah.
And so I was 21, but I was dating Phyllis George Brown's chief of staff, who was 36. So that's another story. Upstairs, we
is
rent out
nice.
for weddings and receptions. It's beautiful. I mean, it's got a big. I mean, look at you can't beat this. For Thunder over Louisville.
Yeah, for thunder, goodness.
Up on the roof,
Fireworks go right over it, doesn't it?
Right. I mean, look, we jut out further than a golf house. So that's all synopsis of Muhammad's career and his life. But it kind of fits his life. It's by Rudyard Kipling. And when you listen to the poem, it does fit him. It was funny. I was here the first time Muhammad saw it.
Yeah.
And I got it over and I said, Muhammad, what'd you think? I said, it was an interesting how that film how the poem kind of matched your life. And he pulls out his wallet and he pulls out the poem. He knew. And that was his kind of mantra. So
It doesn't get more legendary.
yeah, I mean, that guy's unbelievable. So, like, we'll take,
Looks awesome,
we'll
man.
take, let's find a good spot. How about, go right down here,
Okay.
somewhere in the center.
I'll follow you, John.
Yeah, if y'all
Man
cool
with
with
the
that.
plan.
We'll go right here in the center. He's over here.
Yeah.
This is kind of like the beginning because, as you know, Muhammad started, his bike got stolen. So
Oh,
that was
really?
a duplicate of the bike. Yeah. What happened was he went to a home and garden show, had his bike. And a lot of this here is
Brilliant.
yeah, and this giving about how much he has given. It's a really interesting section. This.
Nice.
Beautiful name of Muhammad Ali and took away that slave name of Cassius Clay. Now I can go all over the world.
It was his scarlet letter.
I've been recording everything anyway.
So you know, God, I can get to the right place.
Hard Rock Cafe in New York.
Hard Rock,
And we
yeah.
had such a hard time getting it back because they tried to claim they bought it and they never did. And they had it up in the roof of their place. And
Oh, that's
finally
petty.
finally they admitted, okay, we didn't buy it, and they gave it back to us.
They try to keep a hold of that, didn't they? Talk heavy.
I mean, can you imagine all the sports memorabilia? A robe that Elvis gave Ali, two icons like you said.
Elvis gave
I
to
can't imagine
Ali.
what that's worth.
I feel like I'm keeping this for sure. Can't sell that on eBay though.
Elvis with all the rhinestones, and it was typical Elvis.
Look at this place. Greatest of all time. The greatest ever.
So when you step into this ring, the film will automatically come on and Layla, his daughter, shows you got a box, right? So I took, because when he was on The Apprentice, Lennox Lewis gave all his money to the Ali Center. So I was touring Lennox up here and I'm showing how this works. And I go, hey Lennox, he's standing here and he goes, is she
Lennox
right?
Lewis?
Yeah, I go, Lennox, is she right? Is she showing? He goes, yeah, she's right. And he's sitting in there. So, we took off our shoes, we got in there, and he goes, come on, John. He goes, show me. I go,
Come on, John.
He goes, you're going to move around. He goes, step in here. He goes, step on. I go, no,
Come on, Johnny, catch one of these lefts.
No thanks, Lennox.
That was one of his knockout victims right there. Wasn't it?
Yep. There's his trainer, Angelo Dundee.
That's dope.
In less than 2 months, Ali fought again, beating Oscar Bonavena by technical knockout in the 15th.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, he catered.
Man.
Fights on demand.
Like,
Yeah.
you can sit in any of these spots. You can sit anywhere you want, and then you can scroll down and pick any fight you want. Like there's Ali Corey,
Oh,
Ali
you
Bonavena.
go through his
Speaks.
catalog.
Yeah, you go through and it'll show, and it's only highlights, but it's kind of cool. Like if we wanted to pick the Ali Norton fight,
Nice.
it'll come up here.
You don't have to search no YouTube. That's just
Right.
automatic.
And they'll show it just, and what's nice about it, it's just highlights really. This Roots of Fight is cool stuff. Like that's Roots of Fight. That's Roots of Fight shirt.
Roots of
This
Fight, the brand?
Yeah, the brand is Roots of Fight. This old Cassius Clay's Roots of Fight.
Awesome.
That's Roots of Fight too.
Oh man, I don't even know how to pick. Place is nice. Yo, 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 let's get the business. This is a brilliant day. The weather is nice outside finally, and we finally got this episode on the road going. We got an incredible person in the building today. It's an honor to have him on my platform. I asked him probably about a million, gazillion, quadrillion times, you know what I mean? And we finally got it done scheduling because he's a busy man. I'm not as busy as him. He got a lot going on.
You're plenty busy.
Into this.
You're plenty busy.
But yeah, I'm a little bit busy. Yeah, that good busy. But we're at the Muhammad Ali museum right now. We just walked up. We're in one of the classrooms right now that Muhammad Ali was in, and John, he just now got done showing me some incredible things downstairs. He couldn't even show me everything. There's so much to show with the brilliant history behind Muhammad Ali. Just his brilliance in the ring, outside of the ring, what he meant to the community, to the world in general, and also to children. But finally, we're here with John Ramsey, and let's go down the line a little bit early while I'm here. So I want to shout out to everybody that's kicking in with us, that's tapped in with us, subscribers, hit that like button, of course. We appreciate you tapping into this platform. It means a whole lot, and it's based off positivity. It's based off spreading this good, positive energy, good vibes, and putting the shine on brilliant people that deserve it, giving them their flowers while they're still here. And he's one of those. There's nothing different today. He's a great person. Gaining interest. He has a lot of different things going on as far as television. We start from television, the radio, podcasting. He spent majority of his career doing that. He's the host of Wave 3 Listens on Louisville's NBC affiliates for over 13 years. Simultaneously had the #1 rated sports show on radio, Ramsey and Rutherford.
Yep.
Pronouncing that name right, Rutherford?
Did? Yes, sir.
Okay. The co-host of the podcast, The Ali and Me, with Lonnie Ali, which is a relative of Ali, and it's backed up by Universal Music Group.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Muhammad's wife, Lonnie.
Yes, Lonnie. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we actually shared a magazine feature. That's how I found out about him. And I did my research. And there's so much to research. We're not going to fit it all into the segment, but a colorful person to be around. He's a brilliant staple in the community. Bright character. He's fun. Brilliant vibes. He's a major centerpiece and a position holder in the culture. And he's just been around so many great people and respected by so many greats, including Muhammad Ali. But that's just one. That's just one of Muhammad. He's such a great legendary person, but there's so many people that come around him and respect him. And that says a lot about his character as well. So let's get into it, man. Enough of the yapping. John Ramsey.
Man, what an intro. Thank you, John.
Yeah, I had to do it.
You talk about the great ones I know. You're one of them. So there we go.
Yeah, I like to consider myself great, but thank you. Thank you for that love. So, just to get into it, man, how did you grow up? First of all, where did you grow up geographically?
Okay, here in Louisville.
Yeah.
I'm one of 5 siblings. My father was a police officer.
Wow.
My mom, God bless her, she's still alive and doing well.
God bless.
And so my siblings as well. So yeah, right here in Louisville, I always say Louisville's a great place to raise adults. And right. I believe that. So I love Louisville. I moved around a little bit because of my radio and television career, but luckily I landed back here. I always planned to land back here, and I'm here. So yes, sir. Nice.
Brilliant to be here, man. Louisville's a great place. And I know you have a lot to do with Louisville as far as the structure of Louisville, the rebuilding, and you got your hands, into a lot of different areas. So you grew up in Louisville. So did you always grow up into radio and sports personalities and things of that nature?
It's funny. Not really. It was something I had an aptitude for. I really didn't ever point to being that. I never thought, I'm going to be in radio or I'm going to be in TV. I think what had happened was when I was in college, back then I did some stand-up and got on stage and liked it. Mm-hmm. And so I got an offer from a radio station. I was filling in at just being the comedic side of a local radio show on WLRS. And I'd fill in when one of their hosts was out, after I was in town. And then they offered me a position because it went well. We got some good buzz. I was with a guy named Rocky Knight who started my radio career, and it was Rocky and Ramsey back then. And we did really well ratings-wise and all that. I moved around a little bit, but that's how it all began. And then started doing some TV commercials and then hosting a few TV shows and
Nice.
things like that. So yeah, it wasn't something though, to be honest, Josh, that I pointed towards.
Right.
It just kind of happened, which I mean, I feel very fortunate, blessed, and
Yes.
it's been good to me now. And now, as you know, I'm director of city partnerships for the city of Louisville. I work for Metro Government. It was an appointed position by Mayor Greenberg. And I wanted to make a difference. I've done the TV and radio long enough. Don't get me wrong. I still want to keep my hands in it, kind of like what you're doing with podcasts and everything.
Right.
But as far as my career, I'm working for the city now.
So okay, so
Yes,
you
sir.
work for the city.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I seen you posted with the mayor, the Metro. Yeah, I seen things. So that's very interesting how it just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think because the show I hosted that you mentioned on the NBC affiliate, Way 3 Listens, it was about Louisville business and about Louisville period. And so I was pretty familiar with the business environment and owners, and I think the mayor saw that. So when he came up with his economic development plan, he thought maybe I could help with not only just new business, but also retention, keeping people here, that kind of
Right.
thing.
Okay. So economical structure,
sir.
social, social engineering, things
Yeah.
of that nature. So
Yeah, sure.
that sounds nice, man. And that's crazy how things happen organically. You didn't have that planned out at all. It just happened. So you shining like a light bulb right now. I'm sure it's paved off for you. So, and this is a quick question. So what lane do you feel more comfortable with? Is it the lane that you're in now, or is it kind of what it was previously?
That is a good question. I would say I'm drinking water through a fire hose, as they say, that cliche, because I'm trying to get all this information and figure out how city government works.
Right.
So I'm still doing that. With that being said, I'm finding my lane a little bit. I'm coming up on a year of working here, so it's only been a year.
Okay.
I try, the mayor's been good to me. He'll give me projects and say, hey, take care of this person. I think he sees that, like you, Josh, and you definitely have it, people skills, being able, because people want to connect. They want to do business with people that they like or that they feel a connection to, and also a love for Louisville. The mayor saw that, and he knows that that's and plus I believe in him as a leader. I do. I believe he's special, and he wants to get things done. He wants to move in a positive direction. I know we've got issues like a lot of cities around the country, but there's a guy who's a doer. And really worries about people, cares about everyone in the city. So I hope he recognized that in me. But which one I prefer? Man, I'd say my comfort zone was radio and TV because I used to it. But I'm trying to get there. I don't want to think I'm too old to learn a few new tricks, Josh. So I want to get to where this is just.
Nah, you're still young.
There you go.
You got plenty of time.
That's the best compliment
Sharp as
yet.
a tack,
Throw
yeah.
that in there again. I'm real young, right, Josh?
Right.
Okay,
Definitely.
thank you, man.
Extremely young. But it seems like both lanes are fun for you, and that's a key too, right?
Well, I get to meet people like you, man. I mean, I'm flattered that you even thought about me because I know what you're all about, and I love your positive vibe and what you're, to me, you're the kind of person we need. I'm gonna convince you to move here to Louisville because your positivity is something that's, I think needed in every community, and you're spreading it, and it's contagious.
Absolutely.
Your energy. So yeah, man.
That's the goal, to spread this good
come on,
vibe. Right. Shout out to the mayor too. Y'all find a good spot for me up here.
There you go.
That'd be nice. So you being a sports guy, you're a sports guy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this is a silly question, but kind of cool. I got the 85 Bears, the 96 Bulls, or the 98 Yankees. Which team do you feel like is more dominant?
Oh man, that '96 Bulls team. You go right to Jordan, but man, that was a good cast of characters, man.
Good
you look
guy.
at everybody around there with Pippen and Rodman,
Role players.
Oh yeah, and they knew their role and they played it well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. I probably would go, although the Bears just
Bulls?
demolished
They
everyone
were
too.
just-
Yeah, and the Yankees. Those are boy. You picked three good ones as far as modern era. I'm gonna go, and it may be because I'm more familiar.
Well, Mike.
I think I'll go with
Michael
Bulls.
the Magnificent.
Yeah,
It's hard to go against the 72-10 Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, think about that.
It's tough.
It is, man. You know what? And they were
Back-to-back.
gritty. They were, they could get nasty if they had to. It wasn't just pretty basketball. It was back when the NBA was more physical.
It was different.
And they didn't mind.
They were shoving each other over. They had to go through Bill Laimbeer and all those.
Oh, yeah.
To get to 96.
That Piston team. You're right, man. You're right.
So I thought that was a fun question. And
It was fun.
so if you had to pick, and all right, not gonna hold you. Let's get to this.
Okay.
And I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
talk heavy with this one. I seen you a picture with Willie Mays Hayes.
Oh yeah. With
What an
the Willie
incredible-
Mays, the real original Willie Mays. Yeah.
I was a baseball kid coming up, and of course, Ken Griffey's my favorite player of all time, probably top three, of
That's a
course.
good one.
But Willie Mays Hayes.
Ooh man, Willie Mays was the Say Hey kid. There's a guy who, number 24. They call him the Say Hey kid.
Mm-hmm.
He could run. I don't know the statistic. You may be more, but I think he's the only player with over 500 home runs and 300 stolen bases. But anyway, he could do it all. He could field. He could do it all.
Yeah.
And this was performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah. Before all that.
But natural, just like him and Aaron both were just freaks of nature. So I'm big Willie Mays fan. I got to meet him. I went to to the Giants spring training camp, San Francisco spring training camp in Arizona with Muhammad.
Wow.
And they had to speak about the Ali Center, had me speak about the Ali Center, and then they put us in a room with Willie Mays.
Willie.
And he was, cool cat, man. He'll be missed. He was incredible.
That is like, I just seen that. I was like, man, just what a talented person to be around. Because, me coming up playing sports, I dreamed of being around people around that, and you watch them from a distance and you admire them, but you actually being around these type of people was incredible to me when I found that out. So, yeah, and I was in admiration. I was like, Willie Mays Ace? You know what I mean?
I've been fortunate. You're right. I've been fortunate. I've met a lot of people. Most of the really great athletes, either through the University of Louisville here or through Muhammad, because he ran in those circles.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, and they do have something about them. You can tell there's something special. Muhammad, to me, of course, the greatest athlete of the 20th century.
Gifted,
Yeah.
Different.
I mean, we'll never see another like him. That kind of combination of size and speed and charisma, good looking dude. I mean, he had it all.
Absolutely.
And won over each fan one at a time before social media. So
before social media.
Just a special guy,
Yeah. Just special. One of a kind, will never be another one. And his level of confidence. You being around somebody like Ali, that to me, that signifies how confident you must be as a person. You know
what I think it is, Josh, and you as well. I think you have that too. Is and I'm trying to get there, but Muhammad was so comfortable in his own skin. He was so genuine,
right?
That the confidence exuded from him, because I think also he knew, I'm going to do the right thing. Muhammad was never about follow the money. Muhammad was about follow the heart.
Absolutely.
And when you're doing that, there is a confidence that comes with that. There's a conviction that says, okay, I'm true to myself. So you do have this sudden an air about you. The only other persons, I think you've got it. I think my pastor, when you see a man of the cloth, they have this thing about them.
Right.
They look you right in the eye and they're so genuine. You go,
right.
Man, I want that.
Yes.
And maybe it's I'm not confident. Maybe it's I'm not completely happy with my life or whatever. But Muhammad was always very, he was happy with everything he was doing and knew he was doing the right thing.
That was what I was going to get to. When you're doing the right thing as a person, I think it brings that comfort level. Like, I'm loose. This is me.
Yes.
Unapologetically going to be me. And that's what also stood out to Muhammad Ali about me. I'm unapologetically going to be Muhammad Ali.
And if you like me or not.
And wear it.
Yes, and wear it proudly. Yeah, and I think there came a point when even if you didn't like him, you had to respect him, because it's like, hey, he's never wavered.
Yes.
He's stuck by who he is, and you got to respect that. So, I think that's a lot of it. But
when you're great like that, everybody's not going to like you.
Exactly.
Automatically.
There's some haters.
Yeah, there's always going to be that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've got to measure him and say, man, this guy's got it going on. He's got so much going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to, so they kind of begrudge you for that. But as long as you realize that and go, it used to bother me, being on radio and TV, a lot of people wouldn't like me.
Yeah.
And of course, me being a U of L fan, I have UK fans who would love to just beat the crap out of me. You're going to hear about it. They're
you know how that culture goes.
Say, Ramsey's got to go.
The cats and cars.
But but anyway, with that being said, you just got to, I had to realize it was hard for me to face. Not everybody can like you, John. It used to bother me. I go, man, they don't like me. They don't even know me, but yet you got to accept it.
You're right.
That's the way it is.
At the beginning, you realize it's like that, and afterwards, you just block it out.
Yeah,
this is part of the game.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So do you enjoy the business side or the craft side more? The fun side?
I do enjoy, I hope I can mix them both. I always try to mix them both. Obviously in this day of political correctness, there's, a measure of fun that you got to be careful, but because some people take it the wrong way,
sensitive out
even
there.
if it wasn't intended that way. But with that being said, I want to make life fun, and it's okay to make relationships and make positive things happen and still have fun. It can be done.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're doing it right.
That nice, yes, I am. Getting that nice balance.
Yes.
Making it the best of both worlds work for you. So
Yeah.
you're right. So if you had to pick who you could work with, Dick Vitale or John Madden, which one would you pick?
Ooh, that's a good call. I love people. You talk about haters out there with Vitale, but I love his energy. I love his positivity.
I love Dickie V.
Me too. So I think I'd go Dick Vitale. Although John Madden was a funny dude, though. I mean,
God bless.
more of a under the radar kind of thing. Yeah. Rest in peace, John. But I think I'd go Dickie V because I like that energy. I think I'd get a kick
I
out
love
of
that energy. You know, when I was playing ball, I used to, imagine myself hitting a layup or something, making a big play.
So you were a diaper Dan.
Yeah, that's awesome, baby. Yeah. I imagined him saying that about me. So that, growing up and listening to his voice and just being the.
So when you're in the backyard by yourself, you're doing Dickie V. Talking about your.
Yeah, I'm talking to myself. So that's cool, man. Shout out to Dickie V.
Good question. I like it.
How about Shannon Sharp or Colin Cowherd?
Ooh, boy, Colin Cowherd, smart guy. Shannon Sharp again. I like that energy, and I like the way Shannon. He says what he says.
It's coming up,
and he'll double down on what he says. He doesn't mind. He doesn't back off.
Superb athlete.
Ooh, that's a tough call there.
That's a petty question.
I'd like to work out with Shannon Sharp. I'd like to pick his brain as far as that goes. But as far as host it, I think Colin Cowherd could run circles around me hosting a sports show because that's just his thing. So I'd like to watch him work. But I do admire Shannon Sharp on a number of levels. I mean, think about a guy who's had that kind of success on the field and off.
And off. Wow. Yeah. To turn it around from stuff like that.
You got that right. I mean,
and Colin, you're right. He's a sharp guy, and he's like X's and O's and fun in comedy. It's like crazy. He makes it work that way.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So petty question: what's a ridiculous moment that you ever had on set or backstage, or someone fell down the steps, or anything? It's got to be petty though.
There's a lot of them. There's some funny moments. I'm trying to think of a petty moment. I thought it was funny in that
it can be funny. One
time I interviewed Bill Murray, and it was
wow!
And it was a question. He was in town because his son was assistant coach for Rio Bell, and it was a closed practice, and I was on the radio doing broadcasting from the practice, and everyone was afraid to approach him. I said, I'm gonna go talk to him because he is almost quintessentially cool, like in anything
Legendary
he does.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray, just cool. So I walked up to him and I said, Mr. Murray, if you're respectful, usually people will do the interview. And I said, hey, I don't want to bother you. I know you're here to watch your son practice. I said, but I'm broadcasting over here. I said, can I get some time with you? He said, how much you need? I said, give me 10 minutes, I'll get you out in 5. And he goes, okay. And he comes over and does it. And I was talking to him, I said, my opening question to him was, I said, you are synonymous with being cool. How's that? He goes, well, it doesn't suck.
That sounds like Bill Murray too.
Yeah, it was just so funny because it was like, because he's known as being just cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think there's few people that have that. Like, I think Snoop Dogg, I don't care
Snoop
if he's 90.
is one of those.
Snoop
Yeah.
is going to be cool.
He's just super cool. You got to accept it.
What is it about him? It's like he can do anything he wants.
Everywhere. He's with Martha Stewart. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Bill Murray's one of those too. You can put him in the category. I like his role on Space Jam.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of playing himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he just cool cat.
Bill Murray. That's a legendary name right there. So that's a funny moment. So you've had so many interesting people on the Wave 3 listens. The list goes on. Mike Krask, is that the name? Daryl Isaacs, which I'm very familiar with his commercials.
That show was kind of a lot of it was pay for play. Companies would come on and pay to be on to and I tried to position it so it didn't look like a commercial, but a lot of it was basically a commercial. But I also got to interview, like, if somebody came into town and needed to sell some concert tickets or something, whether it be a Willie Nelson or somebody was Hart or some of these bands that were short on selling tickets, they could come on. So and I'd always had the mayor on, the archbishop on, some respected people around the community. Right. So that was fun. But really, a lot of my interviews were through with celebrities were through my podcast with Lonnie, or through meeting with them. I did after Muhammad passed. I had Bob Costas on the air, and you talked about articulate. And, boy, and could really a great interview.
Articulate a lot.
In history. I know you're an historian, so that's a guy you'd love to talk to because he can really make you feel the moment just talking. Yeah,
wow.
He's a legend.
Legendary.
Yeah, and he loved him from Muhammad. So
I didn't even see that name coming. That's crazy. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, I know y'all have the Childhood Cancer Family Fun Toy Drive for the St. Jude's Hospital.
You saw some video.
I did my research. Yeah. I see you. You interviewed John Cal a couple times.
I've introduced Coach Calipari at quite a few events and talked to him. You'll laugh at this, because he knows I'm a U of L fan, right? He knows I hosted this U of L show.
He gives you.
Oh man, it was funny. So the Derby was going on, and we had a red carpet at Steve Wilson's party at his place. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Yeah, Steve Wilson, who owns 21C. And on his farm. So we go out to his farm anyway, because Wave, the NBC affiliate, had the rights to the Derby and all that. They had to come to me, all the celebrities I did. I had Chris Rock, I had Martin Lawrence, I had Christina Aguilera. I did all these interviews, and they had to come to me first before they went out to the pool and got questions from everybody. So it was one-on-one. So here comes Calipari, and I go, oh boy. And he knows who I am. He goes, And it was so funny. They're counting it down. They're going, get ready in 3, 2. They're getting ready. I'm going on live, and they're going to point to me. And he goes, this is going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt me. Because I'm going to have to.
He gave you the business.
Yeah,
baby.
he knew I was going to have to kiss his tail in front of everybody. Go, Coach Cal, you're great, and go on and on about, man, do you use this facility for recruiting? I'm trying to have fun with him. And he's just enjoying.
And you're a true Louisville fan, too. You're from the Dr. Duncan, Daryl Griffin era,
exactly.
80s and 86.
Yeah, they're a little older than me, but not much. So you're exactly right. But I think he also knew. I respect him. I mean, how can you not? I mean, the guy got a lot done, and I think in Kentucky sports, I can act like I'm this, but there's a deep respect.
Absolutely, there's a truth there, and then there's a fun. I don't like you.
Yes,
you're on the other side. Fun.
Believe me.
Shout out to John Cal, man. He's incredible. Hopefully, I can interview him one day. So the first PGA championship held in Louisville back in '96. You and Ali went to meet Jack Nicklaus together.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, man, you did do your homework.
I had to.
It's funny because I told you this story, Josh, off camera, but it was funny because Muhammad. Now he's the only one who could get by with this, so he wasn't a big golfer, but he respected the game.
I asked you about that. Yeah. I was like, y'all golf together?
Yeah. And I go, no, I'm one big, and I don't golf unless it has a clown mouth or a windmill. I'm not good at that. So
putt.
Yeah, blue putt. I'm not bad putt. But anyway, I said, Muhammad, I asked him what he thought about golf, and he said it was, and this is only Muhammad to get by with this. He goes, it's just an excuse for white folks to dress like black folks. Because back then, all the wild colors and everything, and that's just Muhammad. He
that just sound like his personality.
Yeah.
So Muhammad Ali, man, the greatest.
I went to a couple of PGAs with him, went to a couple of fights with him in Vegas, went to 2 derbies with him. I went to England and Ireland and Australia, the Olympics there with him.
Wow.
Canada, a lot of cities in the United States. So I was very fortunate. But Josh, it wasn't anything special about me. He loved you too. I'm glad. I think he saw that all I wanted from him was his time. Right. And I was flattered to be around him. I hope he liked my energy. He said he did, but he loved you too, because that's what he fed off of, is that energy.
Right. And just a genuine guy, right?
Yeah,
organically,
really
just nice vibe, good energy about him. And like we said earlier, he wasn't really trying to stick his neck out to show him helping others. A lot of it was under the radar, but his influence was so major.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he wanted to go to the hospital, but he didn't want the TV stations to know, because he said, John, then it becomes about me. So we go to see kids, but he wanted to always do it under the radar. Yeah, because his good deeds were from the heart. It was always that way with Muhammad. It was never about money, and he never wanted to look down on people who look up to him.
Right.
So, and then that was real, and I saw it. So, it wasn't like it was only on when he was in public. Muhammad is just a real dude.
Absolutely.
I admire him more than anyone I've ever met in my life, fame or no fame.
Right. His background's strong too. It had a lot to do with that. How he was raised, gritty. And then he grew up a champion almost.
Yeah, it was almost like it was meant to be. I think he was certainly touched by God. I do believe that, and I think there's few like that, and he was definitely one of them.
God bless. And just building those relationships has got to be incredible, because we've been on the opposite side where you're like, I don't want to be around that person.
You got that right.
You know what I mean? So we're going to cherish these moments.
Okay, I'm going to turn it on you. You had a few of those, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We learn fast, though. So, was there any mentors dropping helpful gems along your journey coming up?
The release of, the podcast that I've referred to, and you talked about, the Ali and Me with Lonnie Ali, with Muhammad's wife, that we're doing together. We worked on that for 3 years. It goes back to COVID days. We were doing interviews, and it's got everybody from Will Smith to Mike Tyson to Bob Costas to Billy Crystal to Killer Mike to there's
big names.
I mean, some really good.
Nothing but major superstars.
Well, it was Gayle King, some others.
Gayle King.
With that being said, they haven't released it yet. I've got a couple of rough cuts now, so I'm hoping either by late summer, or they said during the holiday season. They may wait. We did a partnership with Universal Music Group, and Audible is the platform. And they said during the holidays, apparently there's more ears out. So for your podcast, numbers will go up because people are off. They're more relaxed and get to do what they want to do.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that it'll at least be released by the holidays. I'm hoping sooner, but that's their call.
That's interesting you said that, because the more I've done this, the more I've, and put content out, the more I paid attention to those things, like when you put it out, and,
Interesting.
Okay, holiday time. Okay. More people will be off work, things of that nature. You get more ears, more eyeballs.
You might want to put mine out when everybody's working, so nobody wants to watch it.
Nobody wants to see John.
Oh, nobody. You saved me for the bad times.
Right. So, let's get the business with this. What's one big moment that's always stood out to you in memory? It could be something special or monumental. It could be you seen Muhammad Ali do something classic out here. What's one big thing that really stands out to you, that sticks out to you monumentally? And I'm sure there's tons of things.
But no, but I know, and I think on a personal level,
Yeah.
you know, and if I don't know if you have kids, Josh, we haven't.
I do.
We haven't got those, so you know.
2 of those whippersnappers.
So you know, so that
Yeah.
that of course your children being born is big.
Absolutely.
I knew immediately when I met my wife. You know,
Okay. Shout out to
those
wifey.
those are the big personal moments as far as Muhammad was being around him, never got old. I do think that he exposed me to a lot, and this friendship meant a lot to me. I mean, I remember going to the Olympics in Australia, and we were going down to where the athletes village, and because all these people from different countries wanted to see Muhammad, and at that time I didn't have credentials. I was just with Muhammad, and they said you can't go in, and I understood that. I mean, he's Muhammad Ali. I had no credentials, and Muhammad said if he doesn't go, I don't go. That's the kind of friend he was. He goes,
wow.
If he ain't going, I ain't going. And
they are in the middle of Australia.
Yeah, and they go, okay, then you're going. See, he didn't have. He'd do things like that to let you know, hey man, I got you, and I got your back. Well, you know, it comes in town when I had a hot air balloon accident, and Muhammad came in town to see me and stuff like that. I mean, that friendship does mean a lot to me. But you know, there's bigger things in life, as you know, and kids and marriage and family and friends was definitely. But he's one of my closest friends. He was, yes, definitely.
Man, he's an amazing guy. There's just so much to be said about him and covered. We would just be here forever. Did you ever get back in the hot air balloon?
I did, but I was more like watching everything.
More awareness.
Much more aware than I was before. Before I was like, hey, let's just go.
He was way up there, man.
You know, but back to Ali, I think, you know, a lot of people talk about his boxing. You and I both enjoy that. I'll always enjoy that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the only reason I bring this up is because I think what I want the future generations to see, your kids, your grandkids, our great-grandchildren, is to know that it was much more than boxing. Before Muhammad passed, I was able to tell him that. I said, Muhammad, when I met you, the hook worked. I said, your hook was your athleticism, and I watched that. I said, I loved that lured me in. I said, but once I got to know you, I could care less if you boxed a day in your life. I told him that because
that's the key.
You meant more.
That's the key.
You did more, and to me, I give him credit for that. He transcended sports, and although he was a great one, and in my opinion, the greatest athlete of the 20th century, but with that being said, he was so much more than that. So yeah, that's what makes him the greatest.
And I'm glad you're here to put it on the forefront and put it on display, because I didn't even know half the details that you've told me this afternoon. You know, you're like, he's this and that, this happened. I'm like, wow, whoa. And we're walking through the museum and you put me on these stories and I'm just in awe.
Well, you definitely knew your fights.
Disbelief.
You knew your fights, which is important. I mean, that's a big part of his platform, but to take that platform and do something with it positive, you know, he knew that the fame could get him attention. So he made sure he made the message, like a message of positivity and inclusiveness and people getting along. And you know, it's almost, I think it's an oxymoron. You got this peaceful fighter. You know, it's kind of crazy.
But they call it gentle giant.
Yeah,
or whatever.
He's that.
Yeah, he's
exactly,
a gentle giant.
Exactly,
and it's just important because, you know, nowadays sometimes it's fame first. It's people look and they see the perimeter of things. They don't know the person inside. They don't know until you get in there and realize what's going on in their world. You really don't know.
Yep, that's exactly right. Man,
so
these are some good questions, man. You're good.
I had to come prepared for John. Legendary, Louisville legend and global. He's keeping it humble. So, do you still watch boxing?
I do. You know, not to the level I did, and I watch a little MMA too. Muhammad didn't like MMA because he thought it was just too. Too rough, not enough rules. You know, it made him wince a little bit because boxing is more of a sweet science. I do follow it, not to the degree I did at one time, because boxing sadly is just
changed.
It's hard to see a good fight. I mean, you got to wait years for two great fighters to get together, and when it happens once every 2 or 3 years, yes, it's a big deal, but then it goes away. And I think MMA for a lot do has filled that void. Yeah. If you like combat sports, it's there for you. And it's real.
Brawl. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you like it, John?
I don't watch a whole lot of MMA. I've studied some of the champions.
What do you think about, you like boxing now?
I'm just now starting to watch a little bit more, Gervonta Davis and all those. I did watch more Mayweather because I like watching undefeated champions, and I like to see how long their streak goes. I'm really good on that.
He was great, man.
I'm like, look at the Patriots. Let's see how long they can win or whatever. So I get a kick out of watching that part. I watched a lot of interviews. I watched a lot of Ali interviews, a lot of Mayweather interviews, just picking their minds as far as, the championship mind frame. But I don't watch a whole lot of boxing. I watched Tyson box Williams. Remember when he came back in Louisville?
I was there. I was at that one. That was.
I've watched a few home. I watched the who was it? Mayweather and help me out here. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao. I did watch that.
Yeah,
I did. That was an interesting fight and a controversial fight. But I was gonna pick your brain about this compared to the older version of boxing to new. Yeah, you think it's changed a lot, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think also because a lot of the talent, because of the money that's now involved in mixed martial arts, you don't get the pool of talent that you do. But and to me, I think a lot of my allure is that I want to see. This sounds horrible, but I like an American champion. I think a lot of people want to follow an American champion. And don't get me wrong, I think Tyson Fury is a great fighter, and
Tyson Fury is
respect him, but it's hard for. And then the Usyk, the current champ, I can't.
His name.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You see, we don't even know. But I think that makes they don't get the tension that they get here in America, so it's harder to follow them.
Not as iconic.
And an American champion, you just tend to naturally follow them in the newspapers, everybody. So
you're right,
and television and everything. So but I think it not where it was, man. I mean, it used to be. No. Everybody knew when there was a heavyweight championship.
Absolutely.
And the middleweight division when it was Hearns and Hagler and Roberto Duran and all that. Yeah. To me, Sugar Ray Leonard, of course, that was like an era of middleweight where it was the king. So it just doesn't exist anymore. You don't hear a lot of buzz like it used to.
Social media changed a lot of it too. I think that and the media platforms, as far as like how they cover it, because one media comes out and then the other one wants to beat them, and it's just kind of a battle between that, And ticket sales, they the McGregor and Mayweather fight. I mean, the promo leading up to the fight was so much more than the fight, almost.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I think that shows you the thirst for a good fight, and I'll probably buy that the Tyson fight against the what's his name, the social media guy, Logan Paul. Yeah. I'll probably get it because I'm an idiot, but
it's entertaining.
But that shows you that's how much I wish. I remember watching the McGregor Mayweather fight, and I have. My son come watch it with me because I want him to feel what I felt when I was a kid, to get in front of that TV and just be glued.
Yes.
And it just, disappointing. Yeah, and you don't get,
it's not the same.
You don't get the war you used to get,
It's almost like NFL now, I say, the anticipation in the NFL's there, and then the Super Bowl time, it's like, it's not. We need the show is not all the way there.
Yeah. But I think NFL, when you agree, has done a good job of as far as the hype and the management and becoming America's sport.
Yeah, you're right.
I do. I think but I think boxing poorly managed.
Yeah, it has slumped. It has slumped a
But
little
I'm with
bit.
you on. I see what you're saying. We haven't had a good classic matchup in the Super Bowl in a while.
It's been a while. The halftime show, was huge.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's get to this. Top 5 athletes of all time.
Woo! Man, that's a good one. Here I'm gonna go. I'll go this way.
I know Ali's in there.
Sure. Ali's number 1 to me, but
number 1.
You got to have Jordan, of course.
Yeah, those two
are a given. And then after that, and I didn't see a lot of him because I was young, but I do. I mean, Willie Mays is in there. I think.
Okay.
I think because he died so early, Roberto Clemente.
God bless.
Is underestimated.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I'm trying to think. Because it's tough.
Tough.
I'm a big Larry Bird fan because he could
shout
do
out
it
to
all.
Larry.
Man, he could shoot.
Shout out
he
to
could
French
feed,
Lick.
He had a natural. He had a natural eye for the ball for the game. I think. But there's a lot of.
Had a good feel for the game too. Exactly. It's like watching. Yeah.
Yeah, and basketball, man. There's so many great athletes. So I mean, we could go.
Goodness,
down the line. I mean, Jabbar, I was a huge fan. I mean, changed the game. And Wilt Chamberlain never gets his due, but you talk about a guy who completely changed the game. Super athletic. I think you put Wilt in there somewhere because
absolutely
there was a guy. I think he won a state in hurdles,
and he scored 100 points in one
100
game.
Points in one game, and average one year wasn't it 40? Average in like that's 30 rebounds.
Unheard of.
How do you dominate to that level?
That is ungodly.
And it wasn't like there wasn't great athletes. He was just that much better.
Man.
Yeah. So
you're right. They kind of shun him when it comes to that top 5. Him, Jabbar, they kind of.
I think it's because of the not as many championships, and they said he was hard as a teammate sometimes to work with, but also, man, he was. You talk about a guy who just did it his way.
Well, I think some people too. They like certain people, like the marketability behind them personally. They're like, I like this guy.
Yeah,
they pick them over.
That's a good point.
Really getting the buckets out there.
That's a good point. But I mean, no one can doubt. I mean, Wilt's athleticism. My God, I mean, they said he played beach volleyball with anybody. I mean, he was that athletic. So
a monster.
Yeah. You
I can only imagine. And there's no 3-pointers.
And think about, we haven't even talked about like people like Carl Lewis.
Good God,
dominated his sport. Long jump sprinter. I mean,
Carl Lewis,
Usain Bolt. I mean, who My God.
Woo! We were talking about the Olympics earlier. Man.
Yeah,
Michael
speed is
Johnson,
the deal, man.
Good
Usain Bolt.
God, Usain Bolt.
Ooh. I mean, there's some great ones out there. I remember Edwin Moses. I think he went 3 years without losing the 400-meter hurdles.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that kind of a streak in track when everybody's good.
In track too.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to be so consistent too. And yeah, 5 is petty. I could have said 7 or 10. 5 is a very petty, to ask.
I'm sorry,
Randy
man.
Johnson,
anybody. I apologize. I was all over the place, wasn't I?
That's what it does, though. That's what that question does. And it's a very.
I mean, and I haven't even really given a lot of thought, but that's a good question. Who's your top 5? Can you do it real quick?
Woo, no.
I know it's Ali Jordan. We said
Ali
that.
Jordan, Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh yeah, he can do it all.
Bo Jackson.
Oh, I didn't even mention Bo Jackson.
Yeah, Bo.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, come on. and
That's quick
Herschel
pick.
Walker.
Whew.
Yeah, I mean,
He was very Bo-like.
Deion Sanders, we didn't mention.
I got to throw Deion in there. Me and him have the same birthday, so I have to throw him in there.
You got to throw him in
We're
there.
both Leos.
Yeah, y'all are like
Team
this,
Leo.
man.
Yeah. So, do you have favorite musicians?
Oh, yeah.
Any genre.
Man,
genre.
I tell you what, I grew up, I was a big Rick James fan back in the first concert I went to, man. Love me some Rick James. But as far as who I like now and who I listen to a lot now,
Okay.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Ooh, that's a good
There's
one.
a little, combination of rap,
That's a
funk,
good one. Yeah.
rock and roll. It's all in there. God, I'm trying to think who else I listen to a lot. I like old Motown, old soul.
Oh my God, you can't beat that, John.
Oh man, and I was fortunate. I worked on an oldie station for a while, so I introduced a lot of those old acts, and even if I wasn't around in their era, I love them.
Really?
Yeah. It's to me.
Some of those guys, huh?
I was fortunate. My mom, in this way, was really good. She exposed me to a lot of different kinds of music. We listened to Sinatra one day, Ray Charles another.
Yeah.
I love Ray too. Still, was able to meet him. I met Aretha. Just a meet.
You met Aretha Franklin?
God, but Aretha, man. I mean, that voice.
That's a strong natural voice.
Whew, man, I mean that's a talent. You remember when Pavarotti couldn't do I think it was the Grammy. Someone will know, but could not perform. He got sick, so they put in Aretha. Had no operatic training, none.
Fresh off the bench. Yeah.
Go on YouTube and watch her come out and do an opera and smoked it and never done it. And it was like, that just shows you talent is talent.
An opera.
She did and killed it.
Wow.
And it was like, shows you, hey, I can fill in any place because I got this.
You talking about Aretha Franklin.
Queen of Soul,
she
man.
could hum.
Queen of Soul, yep.
And it wasn't like today. You hear a good.
I like Gladys too, though. Gladys Knight.
Gladys Knight.
I think she's competitive for the Queen of Soul. Man, that's a voice.
Whew. Me and Whitney Houston got the same.
Oh, Whitney, my God, what a
same
gift.
birthday too.
Is that right?
Yeah.
My goodness. See, I'm around
Whitney.
greatness here.
It's all greatness here. But that's incredible that you got Aretha Franklin. Whoa.
No, it was a quick meet, but I was happy. I was
That's
at
different, though.
Concert, yeah. She met us. She had a veil on after the concert because she was real funny about catching.
A veil?
Yeah, like
okay.
a veil. But they came up to her and they go, Miss Franklin, your limo is now 72 degrees. She wouldn't get in until it was 72. She goes, all right. She goes, gentlemen, I gotta go. And she went,
oh yeah, she got too much money for me. That's She got a big bag. She getting the big chicken for that.
I gotta steal that. I haven't heard that. A big bag. I like that.
Chicken. Yeah, the big bag. So that's nice. This is a petty question. Chicken wings. Would you rather have drums or flats?
Oh man, man, flats ain't wings. They ain't got bones. They ain't wings. They're chicken tenders. Come on, man. I'm with you, man. Flats.
So flats not enough meat on there for you, right?
Thank you very much. I'll take the drums, man.
Give me the drums.
No, the flats as far as, I thought you were talking about like strips, like chicken strips.
Oh,
you know
okay.
how when they say boneless chicken wings? There ain't a chicken alive that has no bones in his wings. Come on, those are wings.
Once you're an old soul, you ain't trying to have no. You want the taste off the bones. And
I do, but I like them smoked, man. What kind of sauce you like?
Those are nice.
I'm not a big sauce guy. I like a good smoked.
Honey mustard.
It's like Smoky Bones does good.
I do. We grill a lot, man. I like to
You
get
gotta
on
go
that
to Four
grill
Pegs
a lot.
here.
Really? Four
here.
Pegs. I'm getting ready to go eat here in a little bit. I might stop by there.
You like it?
So yeah, I'm glad that's cool that you pick drums though. Most people, you'd be surprised how many people pick flats.
Really?
On my platform. Yeah, they're like flats.
Oh, I'll take a drum and just I'll gnaw on that for 3 days.
Kill it, man. So what's your main motivation behind such a consistent drive of putting this work in? Because we say it's easy, but it's not easy to get up every day, 7 a.m., beat traffic, wherever you got to go, meet whoever, check your emails like you were doing earlier. I mean, there's a lot to this. I mean, what's your biggest motivation?
You know what? I think probably like yours. I like people. I do, and I do love the city, so I'm happy to be in the position I'm in. But I like people. I feel like I got to be engaged. I think I would wither away if I'm not engaged around people. Like, I don't know about you, but half of, to me, going out to dinner or going out to grab a cold beer or something is seeing people and talking to them.
Awesome.
I enjoy that. And Yeah.
strong social life.
Yeah, I think that's how it is for me. Is I like the interaction. You know. Yeah.
And you're just a well communicator too, so it's
thank you,
easier
man.
for you. You know, once I realized everybody can't like talk like that. You know, once you get into the space, you realize that communication skills is a strength.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
I'm looking at it.
So you had a fun experience with Jim Brown, which is one of the greatest football players that ever lived. Denny Crum, Lamar Jackson, the list goes on. Chris Rock, that you said, on the red carpet. Master P, about his cereal with Snoop Dogg and everything. So I think you summed up my question while I was getting ready to ask is what you enjoyed most about your career. And I think it's, being around people, learning about people, their experiences,
I agree.
their stories.
Yeah, you mentioned, who was the one of the first names you mentioned right there?
The first one?
Senior moment there.
Jim Brown.
Yeah, Jim Brown. You know, you'll find
What
find this interesting. My kids were playing, both my boys were playing lacrosse at the time. So I asked him because I knew he was also an All-American, Hall of Fame lacrosse player as well at Syracuse.
Are you serious?
Yeah, great. You can imagine somebody that big and that fast.
Lacrosse?
Oh man, because that's a rough sport. It's somebody who's going to stop him? That's a train. He was All-American. I mean, like him in lacrosse, you couldn't. I mean, he'd go either hand and he could run and he was strong. I mean, because it's a very fit. And you know what? He said to me, and I love this because people underestimate lacrosse. He goes, you tell your sons, he goes, lacrosse is a man's game. Because I mean, people come in, you put men with sticks, and they can hit you legally. They can just whack you. Yeah. I mean, as long as you don't go to the head, you can get.
Now, that's an athlete for you.
Yeah. That's a guy who both sports, and I think he, it's funny mentioning Jim Brown because I asked Muhammad one time who was his sports hero. I said, "You're mine." I said, "Who's your?" He said, "Jim Brown."
Muhammad Ali.
He said, "Jim Brown." He said, "Because I only have to worry about one. He got worried about 11." And I go,
factual.
That's a good. Yeah, I said that's pretty strong. Yeah,
he may run them all over, but yeah, they're on the field.
We ain't too worried.
Yeah, he might cook them, turn them into barbecue chicken, but yeah, he was on there. Yeah, they're there.
I read something, and I want you to research this. Somebody out there maybe check this out.
Okay,
because I don't know if it's true. They said Jim Brown was never in his career thrown for a loss in his pro career. Never thrown for. You would think one fumble, you would think dropping it or something. You would think you'd get caught behind the line with a bad hand. They said never for a loss.
Fumbled the football.
No, not
for a loss.
No, never, not the fumble. Just never thrown for a loss. Like never caught behind the line of scrimmage.
Wow.
Never. Now fumble, I'm sure he did that, but never thrown for a loss.
True,
yeah,
that's a monumental accolade right there.
Yeah,
wow.
Because I'm just curious. It may not even be true, but somebody told me that. I go, wait a minute, never thrown for a loss. I said, what? The handoff's bad. And he's kind of holding on. He gets boom.
Yeah.
I said, come on. And I believe it. After you see him run,
yeah.
So nobody's going to bring him down easy. So I don't know.
They said Larry Zonka used to be like that.
Mm-hmm. Zonka, Jim Kick back in the days, that undefeated Dolphins team. Yeah. He was like that. You're right.
Licking and keep on taking 5 yards and gone. Yeah,
exactly.
I like it. So mixing it up some. This is a fun question, slightly petty. What's one song that you could go the rest of your life without hearing again?
Oh my God.
I have a few.
God, there's a main of all those safety dance and all the ones, all the ones when all the guys who don't know how to dance get on the floor because they can line dance, all those any of that stuff.
Does it got the same little rhythm?
Any of the novelty songs, you know what I'm saying? Please.
There's a lot of them.
How about you throw one at me? I can't think of one off the top of my head. But
Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh my God, that is awful.
Keep that.
I'm with you though.
Nothing against, respectfully.
No, but I'm with you. I'm just not into it.
You feel me then? Yeah, it's just like this again.
Please.
So, you got a favorite podcast you listen to?
I'm a Rogan fan, and
Joe Rogan.
Although I think that format is going away, that long form, one-on-one interview. Ours is different. It's kind of like a variety show. Yeah. The long form that he can do 3 hours, and no one cares because I love him.
Yeah, attention span not alone for him.
He's one of a kind. But there's a number of them out there. A lot of like workout ones, and because I'm interested in the medical side of it. I've heard yours before I came in. I think you're very good.
Appreciate it, Joe.
I like good informative podcasts, people that are interesting, and So I can tune on just about anything.
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, there really is.
But
I love the workout ones and the motivational ones that make that kind of thing is interesting.
Yeah, hot boxing with Mike Tyson.
Yes, Mike's that's an interesting cat.
Big chance. I love. Yeah, he's different. How long did you? I'm sure you met Mike Tyson.
We interviewed him. He came in. He was also a fellow pallbearer with me on Muhammad's funeral. So we talked to him there.
God bless.
And I've had a couple of times when Mike is about ready to kill me and it scared me. You'll hear in my interview, my podcast. What happened was, and I'll tell it quickly, but real quickly, I said to Mike, he was talking about how he met Muhammad. He said, I was in the Boys Juvenile Delinquent Center. He said we watched the movie, the old one with the Muhammad Ali movie then, the greatest. And he said we watched the movie and then Muhammad came out to talk to the kids. He said, Mike goes, I was always in trouble. He goes, I didn't know what. He goes, here comes Muhammad. He goes, I said, I want to be him. He said, look at him. He said, I want to be just like him. He said, he's inspiring me, and he's going on. And I said to him, and as soon as I said, I go, uh-oh. I go, Mike, I think I see where you're coming from.
Right.
He goes, excuse me, Mr. Ramsey, but you have no effing idea where I come from. I'm like,
Brownsville.
right. I don't. Yeah, I go, it's a little rough when I was up. Not that mine wasn't rough, but it wasn't like that.
Right.
He said, you have no idea. He goes, you have no idea. He goes, you understand? And I go, yes, sir. It's like, I get it. And you know what? I respected him because he was real passionate about Muhammad. And I thought, you know what? He's right. I don't know where he comes from. I said, it's a cliche. But it's one I should have watched myself. I know where you're coming from. No,
That's
you don't. Yeah, he got on me.
and that core of his background, connecting it to Ali's, it's just, it's a chain reaction.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can tell, you can understand why he wanted to be like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, it had a lot to do with his painful background.
Yep.
But that voice is killer though. Yeah.
Scare me.
So how do you feel about the old school era of media compared to the new? Because back then there was more TV and radio, and you've seen both sides of the spectrum basically, and now it's more podcasting, YouTube, blogs.
Exactly.
How do you feel about that transfer?
I think, and of course all the reality TV and all now the series and not so many sitcoms and that kind of thing.
Right.
I miss some of the nostalgia. I'm open to the new, so I'm not totally an old man here. The old guy, get off my lawn. I like some of the new. I think there's a good mixture of both. I can watch some old television and still get into it. But as far as, it's sad the way local news, I think, and not everyone, this isn't speaking to everyone, but I think a lot of it is done just how cheaply can we do this and still do it? Right. Kind of thing, instead of really looking for, so you don't see a lot of the national talent anymore like you used to. Now, every once in a while. But with that being said, but I like the new era. I like it. So it's a tough call for me as far as which I like more. Yeah, I respect both sides.
I'm right there with you. I'm in between. I'm an old soul, and I understand the new aspect of things too. So I had to ask you that because so much has changed.
Yeah, you're right. It's changed, but it's intriguing, isn't it? Where's it going from here? We'll see. I'm not a big reality TV guy, though. It is mindless, and it does get your mind off.
It is mindless. That's a good word.
Yeah, it's mindless, and it does. It's kind of like I like to play blackjack, a little 21.
Okay.
Because it takes your mind somewhere. You have to you watch that, and it doesn't do anything for you positive. They're not actors. You're not getting any takeaway.
You got to get some intellect or something from it.
Right. They just escape.
Right.
Escapism. Yeah.
So khakis or slacks?
Slacks.
Okay. Nike or Reebok?
Can I go Adidas?
Yeah, you can. You can.
I'm gonna go Adidas.
I should have threw that in there.
That's all right. No, but I like where you're going.
Los Angeles or New York?
Boy, that's it. Come on. I got a son that lives in New York, so I love it. I'm
Your son stays in New York?
Yeah, he lives in New York. I'm gonna go New York.
Okay, right. Take it up north. UK or U of L, which we got into this.
Yeah, that one's pretty obvious.
That's a basic question.
Yeah.
He's rocking with the cards.
Yeah, I'm rocking with the
Bless
cards. And if you can ever, I'll go ahead and say it, man. I love everybody, but if you could ever get me in a cage with Matt Jones, please do so.
Matt Jones.
Please do so.
That's a big name. Shout out to Matt Jones.
Shout out to Matt Jones.
Yeah.
But I would like that. That guy, he just not a nice guy, just not an honest guy. I'm throwing it out there. I'm just going to throw it out there. All respect, he doesn't like me either, but
word. Okay.
Just said a lot of things that were just not true. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. With that being said, hey.
Now he's the sports analyst, right?
And I can't for UK. Yeah, and I can't knock his hustle. He's doing pretty well for himself. The guys. Okay. And but yeah. Yeah,
so was it personal? Or was it a backstory?
It's gotten personal, but that wasn't due to me. I didn't want.
Oh man,
I did not want.
Maybe I can throw the gloves on or something.
Maybe I think for charity.
Yeah, meet him in that little ring down there, the little Muhammad Ali ring.
You're gonna have to tie my arms around my back though. Okay, it won't be close.
I'll control the tickets.
You be the rep.
Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, so shout out to him.
Out there.
So your favorite Rocky movie? Do you have one?
Oh yeah, boy! They're so predictable, but I love them all, man.
They are, aren't they? But it's so
I think
fun.
Rocky 1 has the big, the underdog who doesn't think he can do it, and that was stolen from the Chuck Wepner fight with the Ali fight. I mean, Wepner even sued him and won.
Wow.
So, and Rocky admitted we watched that, and of course, a lot of things would change. But man, I like some Clubber Lang too. But I'll go with 1. And what was Clubber? Was he 3?
I think it was 3. The one with the Russian on it, was that 4?
That was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, gosh, how many's it been? Like 35? Mr. T's the one I like, Clubber Lang, Mr. T.
I love the Mr. T joint. Yeah. So, I seen where the Gazebo Fest, it had Jack Harlow, Vince Staples, Rich Homie Quan. That was actually canceled due to weather.
Yeah, the second day. The first day
yeah.
did get off. Yeah,
also, the first day did get off. I was
Yeah.
going to see if you all rescheduled that and, you know, how the turnabout with that event came about.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, the first day get off was SZA. Is that? I don't even know how to say it. Yeah, she was great. She was fantastic. It's a good show.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, but and Jack was ready to go the second night, but the weather kept it from it. So hopefully we get that back next.
So Jack was on that second night. Okay.
Yeah, yep. And,
Shout
and
out
I
to
helped
Jack.
work that out with the city. You're right.
Yeah. I noticed that. I was like, I bet this was big. So how do you feel about artificial intelligence? Is a lot going on with it. It's happening fast amongst us. I'm sure there's ups and downs. That's how I look at it. How do you feel about it? Where it's going?
I think it can be very useful. It's, you know, on one hand, it's scary.
Yeah.
You know, and I do think, you know, the ability to expand your brain. I just don't like depending too much on that instead of researching and doing things yourself for kids. So, you know, I'm past that era. So, but I do, for me in my job, I like it.
Yeah.
You know, as far as, because if I need any kind of answers on a certain formula for something I'm sending out, a proposal or whatever, boom, I can get it.
Absolutely.
Like that. So I do see advantages. I do think, though, I just don't want it to take away creative thinking, because if there's one thing that America leads the world in, and that is creative thinkers. And I don't want it to become to where we become somewhat, and I don't want to say robotic, because it's never going to get to that, but to where we're too dependent on that kind
so
of.
where they don't even need humans anymore.
Yeah, you don't need creative thinkers. You know, that's one thing I did notice. I've used it sometimes for creating, right, and it wasn't that good at that.
Right.
At making you feel something.
Right.
Yeah, I think of that human.
That genuine, what's inside, it kind of takes that away.
Yeah,
it
it's very good technically, but,
right.
But can it pull at the heartstrings? So I hope, yeah.
That's a very
They say
well
it's
put.
getting there.
That's very well put, because they can write a song for you, but will it be as passionate?
Well, yeah, will you resonate with you? Will it make you feel strongly about someone or something?
There's questions there.
Yeah.
So, the Muhammad Ali Humanitarians Award. Could you elaborate a little bit on that event?
Yeah, that's something where and it's throughout the world. You want to be inspired, go to the Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Awards, because and there's a lot of young people like yourself who have done amazing things around the world, whether it be feed a village, whether it be find clean water, whether it be starting a new invention that helps prevent disease. These people are doing amazing things all around the world, and it's people who don't get a lot of sunshine for doing it.
Right.
People are making a change, or perhaps
they deserve it, right?
Right. Yeah, and this inclusiveness, or you know, perhaps it's a Muslim woman in the Middle East who's breaking out and making change and positive movement for women, as far as, you know, being equality and inclusiveness. So to me, you go out of there and you go, I got to do more. You watch, you go, these people are doing so much. I got to quit complaining about the little that I do and do more.
And puts that positive battery in your back even more so than what you already have. Yes,
it does. Because you're going, these people dedicated their lives to it, and they're so passionate about it. And a lot of them aren't benefiting financially from it. They just have a strong pull. Yeah.
All from the heart.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a staple, and that kind of a representation of Muhammad Ali, as if he was still here, because that's kind of walking along with his heart, his passions.
Yes.
And
that's what it's about.
Yeah. And how he affected children and other people. So that's huge. So shout out to the Humanitarians Awards. That was crazy. Discipline or motivation? Which one do you think is more important to your everyday routine?
Wow, that's a good, because I was, you know, discipline, motivation, talent, all these things.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, I think it is discipline. I think, you know, to be disciplined to get up and do it every day.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you're motivated, but yeah, the discipline to do it regardless.
Yes.
Even if you're not motivated.
Yes. That's a question I often ask, and you hit it right on the nail. That's right. So what's one goal that you can't leave this earth without accomplishing?
Ooh, well, I hope I'm doing it.
You can give me 3, 5, 7.
But I know you're feeling this too, though. It's not leaving my children in a better, I don't want to say, because I can't affect the world as much as I'd like, but I would say leaving my children in a place where they are self-reliant, love themselves, are good to people, have a good heart, you know, a better person than I was. I think that's what's important to me, is leave my children with a love and compassion for others. And then they're both, I'm fortunate, both my boys are that way. Yeah. I'm sure your kids are too.
Absolutely.
Because it's something you instill in them early, because you believe it.
Yes. Yeah, this has been on my heart and mind since they were born, and even before they were born. So I'm right there with you. And you're building a legacy right now. So they're watching you. They're loving you. Hey, John, hey, Daddy, you want to go out for lunch? They're calling you all the time.
I think half the time they just, you know, hey man. No, to be honest, they still, I like the fact that we do have that relationship, that we're
Yeah.
close. They still like hanging with me, and I like hanging with them. So I'm blessed in that regard.
You go to New York a lot? Visit your
I
son?
I do, and not as much as I'd like to, but he comes home every once in a while too. So it's a little bit of both. So yeah, I miss him immensely, you know. And he's 33 now. So oof.
Okay, shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's doing big things somewhere. Any shows or platforms that you'd like to collaborate on in the future? It could be anything. Good Morning America. It could be a TV broadcast or a podcast, or
You know, I think we're going to be rebranding Louisville pretty soon. As far as I think the like a lot of cities our size, medium-sized markets have gotten a bad shake during a lot of things that happened here. And don't get me wrong, they happened. I'm not trying to sugarcoat or put lipstick on a pig. There were some bad times here, but I'd like to help reshape that, whether that be through media or some kind of branding campaign, but the branding has to be real and be authentic, because I still believe, as I said in the opening of this podcast, it's a good way to tie this thing up, is that Louisville is a great place to raise adults, and it didn't change who we are. We went through some tough times, and I want to bring people together. I love all Louisvillians, and I love the city with all my heart. So if I'm involved with something, some kind of movement or media movement or marketing partnership, it would be to help make Louisville the community that I know it is.
that sounds brilliant. You're already playing your part. It takes a
man.
village, though.
I'm trying.
It takes a squad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the '96 Bulls.
You brought it back.
We need Dennis Rodman to get the rebounds.
That's
we need
right.
this.
Come on, Dennis, go get it.
Come on, Dennis. so yeah, man, this is brilliant to have you, man. Is there any shout outs that you want to give out to the people before we wrap it up? Or I'm sure you got some special events coming up. You always got something going on.
There is to me, Bourbon and Beyond, Louder Than Life. I'm helping partner with that.
Louder Than Life's a big one.
So
Bourbon
folks,
and
if you
Beyond.
get tickets there and really get behind it, because they're great events. It's a good way of bringing people together. Music does that. We talked about
Absolutely.
that.
So many bands and acts, and it's split up in two different
Yeah,
days,
2 different
right?
weekends. Yeah, 2 different weekends, and I'm going to be doing
weekends.
some events here in the city to build around, to start making it more of a festival, not just waiting for the 2 concerts. So that as far as the immediate, but other than that, just shout out to the people of Louisville. Hey, we're getting better, we're working hard, and put some skin in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, don't complain. Be a part of the solution. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's
all
true.
money in, like
That's
Nip.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say, hey, when are y'all going to do this? When are y'all going to do this? No, but can we do this?
Action, right? You're right. So that's a good way to put it. Shout out to Louisville, man. Shout out to everybody involved, and shout out to everybody tapping into the platform. I finally get to get the legendary,
You're the legend.
iconic John.
No, you're Josh, I'm on your train, man.
So this was brilliant, man. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.
And thank you.
I do.
And thank you for showing me around this museum. It's amazing. I'm gonna bring my kids to this.
Please do. Please do.
Shout out to y'all too.
Have a good
And
one.
we rocking like that. Let's get to business.
Yo, let's get the business.